Hi everyone, it's John Mitchell, and in this video we're going to look at the operations system. We now know that operations is about producing a good or service, and in order for the business to produce that particular product, it needs to go through what we call the operations system. And the operations system is simply the transformation of inputs into a final output or the final good or service. And so if you look at that diagram there are three key elements of the operations system. There are the inputs, there are the processes, and there are the outputs, and we're going to go through each one of those individually. So first of all, the inputs, these are the resources that are used in the process for production. So all the resources that are used to produce a final good or service. Things include, or resources include, I should say, raw materials, facilities and equipment, so where the actual facilities of where the good or service is produced, all the equipment, machinery, those types of things, employees that are involved in the operations system, time, and any information that is used to produce that particular good or service. Processes, these are all the activities that help transform the inputs into the final output. So these are all the activities that actually convert the inputs into a final product. Now, businesses aim to use their resources really efficiently because that helps reduce costs and improve their productivity, and often it is the processes that enables them to do that. So if the processes are very poor, they may use more resources than they need to, but if they are very efficient, they'll be maximizing the amount of goods that they or goods or services that they produce for the amount of resources that they use. And processes also impact areas such as the quality of the product, the speed of delivery, so how quickly it can get to consumers, how much waste is produced, and also how safe the employees are. Now, the final key element of the operations system are the outputs. Outputs are the finished good or service that is produced by the business or by the operations system. Now, the quality of the outputs is clearly a reflection of the quality of the inputs and the quality of the processes that are used. So if a business wants to create a high quality product, then it needs to ensure that it involves high quality inputs or resources and also uses high quality processes. And finally, before we get into an example, I just want to say that we'll get into this more in the next video, but it's important to note now that many businesses will produce outputs that involve both goods and services. Now, just for an example, we're going to go through the operation system for a car manufacturer. Now, these are just examples, but we'll start off with the inputs. So things like materials, car parts, nuts, bolts, and obviously there's a million other things that go into making a car. But facilities and equipment, the actual manufacturing plant, any robotics and other machinery, employees that are involved in the operation system, information, be it the design information or more specific information about a customer order, and obviously time that's involved in producing the car. Now, the processes, again, there's more than these, but things like assembling the car together, welding, doing quality checks, any testing, going through the paint shop, and all those types of things would be common processes involved in producing a car. And then finally, the final output is a completed car ready for the consumer. So hopefully that gives you just a basic understanding of what the operation system is for an example of a car manufacturer. So just to recap, there are three key elements of an operations system. First of all, the inputs, which are the resources used to create the output. So the materials, facilities and equipment, time, employees and information. Processes are all the activities used to transform the inputs into the final output. And the output is the final good or service that is sold to consumers. So for questions, activities and more, come on over to teachingbubble.com.